Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. Guys, today we'll be making this beautiful button down dress. All right, I use this different kind of fabric, as you can see. So we'll be making this beautiful dress. I'll show you how I was able to achieve it like this. So let's get started. Okay guys, so all you need to do for the upper fabric is just to fold it into two, just as you can see me doing. I'm just basically folding it into two. Then let me tell you what the width is. The width of the fabric is 14 inches, all right, and then the length is 11 inches. Okay, that is including the joining allowance. And I'm just going ahead to further fold it, making it 4 folds. Okay, and then I'm just going ahead to impute the shoulder measurement, just as you can see me doing, 4 inches, and then the armhole measurement 4.5 inches. All right, then I'm just connecting the armhole to the shoulder, to the upper shoulder, as you can see me connecting. And then I'm just including the waist measurements plus allowance. Please include your allowance. All right, then let me just connect this armhole line to be longer, and then I'm including the chest measurements plus 1 inch allowance. Guys, please add up to 3 to 4 inches allowance in your own. Okay, make sure you have enough allowance. And then I'm just connecting it from the armhole straight to the waistline, just as you can see me doing. And then I'm going in with my chalk to carve in the armhole, just as I have done. So the neckline I use is 2.5 inches wide, and then the 3 inches long. Okay, so I'm just connecting it like so. This is the front neckline, all right, and then for the back neckline I'm just going in by 1 inch, and I'm connecting it to the 2.5 inches I connected earlier, the width. All right, and then I'm just slanting the shoulder with about 1/2 inch, like so, just as you can see me doing. It's very simple, guys. I'm just going with my scissors to just chop to cut it out. Okay guys, when you're taking this measurement, make sure you take the measurement loosely on the chart, because it's a button down shirt, dress. So make sure you add enough allowance. And then I'm just cutting it out like you can see me doing. See, I cut out the back first, so I'm removing the back and I'm cutting out the front neckline because it is deeper than the back. And then I'm going in with my scissors to cut the front of the top, okay, because it's buttoned down, so the front has to be open. So this is the front and this is the back, as you can see. Okay, so for the gathers beneath, this is for the first step. I have 22 inches long, all right, and then the width I have 9 inches. You want to double or triple the waist measurement of the child, okay, to have more. So if you want a fuller gathers, but if you don't want a fuller gathers, you can just double it. And I'm going in with my running stitch. I'm just creating a gather stitch, as you can see me doing. All right, I'm done creating the gather stitches. I want to cut out my thread, guys, and then I just grab the back panel. All right, I'm just sewing that gathers that I made on it, just as you can see me doing. Is very, very simple. I'm just sewing it on it, the first layer. Okay, okay, see, I'm done sewing it. See what I have after sewing in the first layer. This is the back panel. Okay, so I'll also go ahead, I'll grab the second layer, which is the pink. I'll also gather it, run my gather stitches on it, just as I'm doing right now. And then also I'll go ahead on the second layer, on the first layer I'll go ahead and sew the second layer on it. Okay, I'm just sewing it like so, guys. Don't mind what the fold in the hem line. I just went ahead and I hemmed it, but you can totally hem it after you're done sewing the entire dress. See how beautiful it was looking. And then this is the front. Okay, it's 2 pieces. So I'll just use this first one for the first piece and the second one for the second piece. So I'm gathering it, as you can see me doing, just the same way I did for the front. Is basically the same thing. The only difference is that the front one is into 2, while the back one is just 1 piece. That is just the only difference. So as you can see me, I'm just going ahead to sew in my gather stitches on the first piece of the front panel. Yeah, I'm just sewing it just as I did for the back panel. All right, let me sew it and show you what it looks like. Okay, so you see this is the front panel. So every other thing I did for the back, I'll do it for the front. That is just it, basically. See how beautiful it is. So I'm just going ahead to also run gather stitches on the second one, and I'll fix it like I did. Okay, so I'm done doing everything. This is it. This is the 2 front pieces. You see it. I laid it on the back pieces. So moving on, we'll just go ahead and I'll sew the shoulder. Okay, the first and the second shoulder, I'll just sew it. I'll sew the okay, I'm done sewing the 2 shoulders together. I just want to insert my basic sleeve, guys. This is the basic sleeve. All right, I just want to insert my basic sleeve on the armhole just as I demonstrated. So I'm going ahead right now to begin to sew my sleeve to the dress. Okay, so I'm turning it over to the other side to also sew the other side of the armhole, just as you can see me sewing. Okay, this is how it is. This is how beautiful the sleeve is, guys. So just go ahead and do the second one. Okay, so yeah, this is the sleeve. Make sure you fold the hem of the sleeve before you start sewing, okay, or whichever way works for you. So I'll fix it on the other side. Then this is a placket. I went ahead, I did the first placket. See how beautiful and neat the placket is looking. Let me show you how I achieved it on the other side. Okay, so to fix your placket, just grab this strip of fabric like 2 inches. This one is 2 inches wide. Then the length, measure from your neckline down to the hemline. Whatever length you get on your own dress is what you're going to use, but the width is 2 inches. So I'll go ahead, I'll just, turn it to the machine and then I'll sew it. I'll sew it just like I have demonstrated from the neckline down to the hemline. I will run a stitch on it, okay, using 1/2 inch or less. So let me just keep sewing it, guys. Okay, yeah, I'm done sewing it, and I'm just running 1 inch stitch on the neckline. See what I did? I just went ahead and ran 1 inch. I measured 1 inch away from the center front and I sewed it. See it? Then I want to notch it. What I have sewed, I want to notch it so that it will be easy, so that it will balance on the neckline. Let me open it up so you see what I did. I'm trying to turn it inside out, but before I do that, let me cut out the excess fabric that might create a puff. See, I'm using my scissors to go in and turn it inside out. Okay, so I've turned it inside out, and then I want to go ahead now and just fold it in. See what I'm doing? I folded it in, and then I'm folding it in 1/2 inch like so. Then I'll go to my machine. I'll gradually slot into my machine, and then I'll begin to sew it. I'll sew it from this point down to the hem. Just sew it from this point, from the neckline down to the hemline. That is basically what I did. That was how I did the plackets, guys. So now I'm just going in with, just want to shape the dress with 1 inch. You can do that with 1/2 inch or whatever allowance you left. I didn't have much allowance on the dress. So guys, don't allow what happened to me to happen to you. I actually forgot that this dress has a rope. So I went ahead and I sewed it from the sleeve down to the hemline before I realized that I didn't put the rope, so I had to loosen it and start afresh. Okay, so just put the rope inside on the waistline and then just sew it down. Make sure the rope is on the right side, just as you can see the rope is inside. Okay, sew it down to your hemline. Don't forget your rope, except you're not using a rope like me. And because I'm using a rope, let the dress have enough allowance so that I can wrap around the child. All right, don't forget, have enough allowance on your dress, guys. So you see the 2 ropes, see how I joined it, see how I'm done doing that. So just go ahead now and do the neck. So for the neck, just measure the neck you have. What I have here is about 7 inches. Yeah, about 6.5 inches. So I'll just go ahead, cut out the collar for it. So for the collar, see how I folded the fabric into 2 and then I folded it again. All right, then I'll go ahead and mark what I need. I just need 2.5 inches wide. I don't need the entire fabric. That's what I am marking. Make sure you have enough allowance, okay? Enough allowance, I mean the length. If the length is 7 inches or 14 inches, your neck line, make sure you have enough allowance. So I'll go up by 1/2 inch, just as you saw me doing. Then I'll connect it to the tip of the collar, and then I'll curve it in. Yeah, I just go with my scissors and I'll just cut it. Make sure you have allowance on your collar, okay? Add allowance, guys. And then you go to your measure, you fold it 1/2 inch like I folded it. Make sure it's 1/2 inch, and then you sew it like I have demonstrated, holding down your 1/2 inch. You do it on both sides, okay? So I'm also doing it on both the other side. Just make sure you fold it in 1/2 inch, okay? And then you sew it and cut out any excess you have. Guys, add allowance, because you see there's a sewing allowance. Make sure you add your sewing allowance. I actually forgot to add my sewing allowance to my collar because I was actually managing the fabric. Okay, so I'm just turning it in with my scissors, as you can see me doing. I'm just turning it in to bring out the pointy edge. I'm doing also the turning for the second side. See the collar, see how it's looking. It's fine, okay? So this is what it looks like, guys. So just go in and sew it on your neck line. Sorry, I couldn't capture all of that place. I just sewed it. After sewing it, and then I'm turning it in. All right, I'm trying to conceal the rough edges with the collar on the wrong side. After sewing it on the right side, I turned it on the wrong side to conceal the rough edges. Okay, that is what I'm doing right now. So I'll just keep doing it until I get to the edge, the end of the collar. So guys, we are done fixing the collar. I also went ahead and I hemmed the down part of the dress, and this is what it looks like. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. If you have a question, you can ask me in the comment section. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.